Alright, picture this. You're standing in front of a massive stadium, watching the opening ceremony of the Olympics. Flags from every country are waving proudly in the wind, representing different nations, cultures, and histories. But have you ever noticed something strange? Almost every single flag is rectangular. Why? Why don't we see more circular flags, triangular flags, or even star-shaped ones? Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of flags, why most of them are rectangular, the rare exceptions, and whether we'll ever see a change in the future. The history of flags, where it all began. Let's rewind to the early days of civilization. Flags weren't just symbols of nations, they were tools for communication. Long before modern navigation, before radio signals, before email, flags were used to send messages on battlefields, on ships, and between distant territories. The earliest flags weren't even made of fabric. They were often wooden or metal carvings attached to poles. But as societies advanced, fabric became the preferred material because it was lightweight and could be easily waved or displayed. Now, here's the key: fabric works best when cut into simple shapes, and one of the easiest and most practical shapes to make? A rectangle. The practicality of rectangles. Imagine you're in charge of designing a flag for your kingdom. You need something easy to produce, easy to carry, and most importantly, easy to recognize from a distance. A rectangle gives you a large, visible surface area to display symbols or colors. A shape that flies well in the wind without twisting too much. A form that's easy to stack and store when folded. Now compare that to other shapes. A circular flag? That would be difficult to sew and cut perfectly, plus it wouldn't catch the wind as evenly. A triangle? It would be harder to balance when hanging on a pole. Rectangles just make sense from a practical perspective. Why flags became standardized. As the world became more connected, flags started to serve a bigger purpose. They weren't just for kings and armies anymore. Countries needed flags to represent their identity on ships, embassies, and international events. This led to standardization. In the 19th and 20th centuries, governments started making official rules about how their flags should look. Rectangles became the norm because they were already widely used, and keeping them consistent made it easier to identify nations quickly. In fact, even in modern times, most international flag dimensions follow a 2:3 or 1:2 ratio, meaning the length is usually about 1.5 to 2 times the height. This ratio keeps flags balanced in the wind and ensures they're visually appealing when displayed. The rare non-rectangular flags. Now you might be thinking, wait a minute! Not every flag is rectangular. And you'd be right. There are a few exceptions that break the mold. Nepal, the most unique flag in the world. Nepal has the only non-rectangular national flag in the world. It's made up of 2 stacked triangles, resembling the Himalayan mountains and Buddhist symbols. But why is Nepal's flag shaped like this? Because it predates most modern flag standardizations. While most countries adopted rectangular flags in the 19th and 20th centuries, Nepal stuck to its traditional design, making it one of the most recognizable flags today. Switzerland and the Vatican City, the only square flags. 2 countries in the world have official square flags, Switzerland and Vatican City. The Swiss flag is a perfect square with a white cross in the center, representing neutrality and peace. The Vatican flag is also square, split into yellow and white with the papal emblem. These are the only national exceptions, but you might also find non-rectangular flags in military, maritime, or regional settings. The science of flag design, why rectangles just work. Flag design isn't just about looking pretty, it's about functionality. If a flag is going to fly properly in the wind, it needs to have the right balance of weight and proportion. Rectangular flags distribute weight evenly, reducing the risk of twisting or tangling. A circular or oddly shaped flag would flap unpredictably in strong winds, making it harder to read. That's why even logos and banners often stick to rectangles. They just work better for visibility. What if flags weren't rectangular? Now let's do a thought experiment. What if a country suddenly decided to make a star-shaped flag? Or a flag in the shape of an animal? Here's what would happen. It would be harder to manufacture. Cutting and sewing complex shapes would drive up costs. It wouldn't fly properly. Irregular shapes would make the flag unstable in the wind. It would be harder to display. Hanging a non-rectangular flag on a pole could look awkward. So even though it sounds cool, practicality wins over creativity when it comes to national flags. Will flags ever change? With technology advancing, digital displays replacing physical flags in some places, and nations evolving, could we ever see a shift away from rectangular flags? It's possible, especially if digital or holographic flags become a thing in the future. Imagine a flag that could change shape based on wind conditions, or a digital flag that adjusts its design in real time. While it's unlikely we'll see drastic changes soon, history has shown that flags do evolve over time. But for now, the rectangle remains king, and for good reason. Alright, now that we know why most flags are rectangular, let's take a deep dive into some of the most unique, creative, and unusual flags in the world. Because while rectangles dominate, that doesn't mean flags all look the same. Some nations have taken bold design choices, using rare colors, hidden symbols, and unique styles that stand out. So, let's explore some one-of-a-kind flags and the surprising stories behind them. The only flag with a different front and back, Paraguay. Did you know that Paraguay has a flag with 2 different designs on each side? It's the only national flag in the world that does this. The front features the country's coat of arms, a circular emblem with a yellow star, olive branch, and palm branch. The back features a different emblem, the Treasury seal, which includes a lion guarding a red cap, symbolizing liberty. This double-sided approach makes Paraguay's flag instantly unique. It's a small detail, but one that makes it stand out from every other country. The only flag with a gun on it, Mozambique. Most national flags feature peaceful symbols, stars, animals, or natural elements. But Mozambique breaks the mold by being the only country in the world with a modern assault rifle on its flag. The flag features an AK-47 with a bayonet, crossed with a hoe and an open book. The gun represents defense and vigilance, while the book symbolizes education, and the hoe represents agriculture. It's a flag that tells a story about struggle, revolution, and independence, making it one of the boldest designs in history. The most colorful flag, Belize. Most flags stick to 3 or 4 colors, but Belize holds the record for the most colorful national flag in the world. It contains 12 different colors in its central emblem, which features a coat of arms, tools, a ship, and 2 human figures. The blue and red represent the nation's political parties, while the emblem tells the story of Belize's colonial past and independence. For a flag, that's a lot of detail, making Belize's flag one of the most visually complex designs in the world. The only flag with a purple element, Dominica. Here's a fun fact. Purple is the rarest color in national flags. Most countries use red, blue, green, yellow, or white, but purple? Almost never. The flag of Dominica is the only national flag that features purple, found in the Sisera parrot at the center. The parrot is a national symbol, and its purple feathers make Dominica's flag one of the rarest in terms of color choices. Purple was historically expensive to produce, which is why it's almost never seen in flags. But Dominica broke the norm, making their flag one of a kind. The most simple yet powerful flag, Japan. At first glance, Japan's flag might seem plain, it's just a red circle on a white background. But its simplicity is what makes it so powerful. The red circle represents the sun, symbolizing hope, strength, and Japan's cultural identity. The minimalist design ensures that it's instantly recognizable anywhere in the world. Japan proves that a flag doesn't need complex symbols or many colors to be iconic. Sometimes less is more. The only flag that's not recognized by the United Nations, Taiwan. Taiwan has a flag, but here's the catch. It isn't officially recognized by the United Nations. The flag of Taiwan features a white sun with 12 rays on a blue field, with a red background. However, due to political tensions, Taiwan isn't a UN member, making its flag one of the few that doesn't have official international recognition. Despite this, the flag remains a powerful national symbol, and Taiwan proudly displays it worldwide. The only flag with a single color, Libya, 1977 to 2011. For a time, Libya had the simplest flag in history, just a solid green rectangle with no symbols, no designs, nothing else. It was introduced in 1977 by Muammar Gaddafi, who wanted a flag that represented Islam and revolution. It remained Libya's flag until 2011, when the country adopted a new design after Gaddafi's fall. A single-color flag is rare, and Libya's all-green flag is still remembered as one of the most unusual national flags ever created. The only flag that changes its colors at night, Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia's flag is already unique because it features Islamic calligraphy, which means it can't be printed on clothing or lowered to half-mast. But here's something even more interesting. Saudi Arabia's flag looks different at night. Under normal light, it appears green with white Arabic script. But in the dark, the flag's material glows under infrared light, making the text more visible even in low-light conditions. This feature is extremely rare and gives Saudi Arabia's flag an almost technological element. Could future flags look different? With digital advancements and holographic technology, could we see a future where flags change colors, display animations, or even project 3D images? It's not impossible. Some countries have already experimented with LED flags, and sports teams use dynamic digital banners. Maybe in the future, national flags will no longer be made of fabric. Instead, they could be interactive, light-based, or even holographic. Would we ever move beyond the traditional rectangle? Probably not. But flags will continue to evolve, just like they have for centuries. Final thoughts. Flags are more than just symbols of nations. They tell stories, hold deep cultural meanings, and sometimes break the rules of design. Whether it's a square flag like Switzerland's, a double-sided flag like Paraguay's, or a flag that glows in the dark like Saudi Arabia's, each one has something that makes it special. So next time you see a flag waving in the wind, look closer. You might just notice a hidden detail, a rare color, or a unique feature that makes it stand out. If you liked the video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more amazing content. See you in the next one.